How's it going, guys? CrackedRack here, and as stated, here is the interview. I am here now with the interviewee. Go ahead and say hello.
Hi.
Okay, what is your name? Wait, what is your first name? Obviously, don't give any details out other than that.
My name is Paris.
Okay. And so the reason that Paris has come to me today is because she has accusations of, well, I wouldn't say pedophilia, but ebophilia, is that what it's referred to, against popular YouTuber Mumkey Jones. Now, at first, I was very hesitant to discuss this whatsoever. However, especially considering that she does not have a lot of physical evidence, due to trusting Mumkey Jones a lot of the time and not wanting to expose him or harm him or cause him problems. However, one of the reasons that I take this a lot more seriously than some other allegations is simply just because Mumkey has a history of severe degeneracy, worse than any other YouTuber I've probably ever seen. I've always been a huge fan of him. However, like I've said, he has a history of just really sketchy stuff. For example, he had a friend named Asperger who raped a woman. He had a girlfriend who was a verifiable pedophile who was having sex with underage boys. So this has a little bit more validity to it. However, still take it with a grain of salt. So go ahead and explain a little bit about who you are, your backstory. Maybe explain that shooting thing you were discussing.
Okay. So this actually has a lot in common with Mumkey Jones, which is kind of ironic. Because I initially started watching Mumkey Jones as like a minor, because it was just like available for me on like the platform at such like an early age and stuff like that. And so I've always really looked up to like YouTubers and stuff like that, like when I was younger. But I feel like I kind of definitely took bad influence from them, even though in like a lot of their videos they were like, don't be influenced by me or that kind of thing. But it was kind of hard not to when they like made you laugh and they made you genuinely happy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I initially started talking to Mumkey like my junior year of high school. I was like 16. I actually don't know how old he is.
So I believe he's about 27, so 2 years ago he would have been 25, 24, 25.
Yeah, but I was like 16 going on 17. But like this is before like I got myself into like a really bad situation where I was in an abusive relationship with a Hispanic male. I'm not gonna say his name because like I did put a restraining order on him. I started talking to Mumkey after like a really crappy period of my life.
And how did you get in contact with Mumkey?
So I started watching his videos, and I would actually watch Trash Rats. I don't know if you know what that is. It's like a podcast with him, Rusty, and like Emp Lemon, or I don't even know if it's. Yeah, I don't even know if it was implemented. I don't even know. It's been so long. I think they stopped uploading. But I would, like, comment a lot on their lives, and, like, I would get recognized a lot. And so I eventually made a Twitter, because I had social media.
Before you explain that, were you, did you have, like, a profile picture of a girl or some kind of flirtatious, profile picture? Or some kind of...
It was just me.
Okay, so it was you showing that you were a female. So that's probably what stoked the attention, is what I'm guessing.
Well, also because I, like, paid them, because if you pay them money, like, your comment will, like, pop up more than, like, any other person, so I, like, would, like, donate money to, like...
I've given a lot of money to Mumkey. I've probably given a few $100 overall, and...
oh, yeah,
and
me too, dog.
He didn't respond to me, so I'm just saying, maybe, you being a female has something to do with it.
Yeah, that's kind of odd, because I noticed with a lot of, like, the other viewers, he wouldn't interact with, like, the male viewers, because I'm pretty sure, like, the males definitely would have more of a liking to Mumkey Jones, and I'm not saying that to be, like, sexist. Like, I know if I was a dude, I would probably like Mumkey Jones a lot more than I would have liked him during that time, you know what I'm saying? I would have been like, oh, this is, like, a cool YouTuber, he's edgy. I'd probably adopt his personality if I was a man.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was, like, super sussed out to, like, even, like, say anything, because, like, my favorite YouTubers are, like, connected with Mumkey, you know what I'm saying? So, like, it's really hard for this kind of thing to just be put out there, but I did make a Twitter, like, 2 years ago, and I started only doing it just to follow like my favorite YouTubers, just so they would update me when the next video is, or they would post something funny, just so I could see it before everyone else, you know.
Yeah.
And I started following Simeon Jimmy was his newer one. It wasn't Mumkey Jones because you know he got like terminated and stuff. But I don't know if he even did he, or did he just get like banned?
He got terminated. He got terms of service violations, 3 of them in 1 day.
I thought he just like stopped making videos.
No. So so go ahead and keep explaining.
He followed me back because I commented on one of his things, and he was like, "This is like a loyal person on here," and like I out of the blue like tried to find his Snapchat, and I just typed in Simeon Jimmy, and no joke, like I added him. And I didn't think it was him. I just thought it was some random person, but I started sending them text messages.
And you were 16.
And it ended up being him. Yes, I was like 16, bro, but like I just did it because I was bored as heck, and like I typed it in, and we started just chatting. I can vaguely remember, but because I was like kind of young, you know, but I was just like, we would talk like every single day, bro, or like we would try and have like a streak or whatever.
And he was about a 23 or 24-year-old man having long conversations with a 16-year-old girl every day.
Yeah, but initially, like the first like week of us talking, or like most of the time, it generally wasn't sexual. It was just like flirtatious. He didn't like make me feel uncomfortable at all, but I don't think I really understood either way because I was like 16, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, there's
and I was just like, oh,
for that.
famous YouTuber, blah blah blah, you know, like that's awesome. I'm gonna talk to him, obviously.
Okay.
But he would send me like pictures of himself, and like that's how I knew that it was him, because he like sent me pictures of himself, and I would send pictures of him, and he'd send me pictures of like his lizard and like his cats.
1 second, I can actually verify that is his Snapchat. I have added him on there as well. He didn't add me back.
He didn't add you back, bro?
It doesn't appear as if he wants male attention, so that does not make him look good, but it's irrelevant, so just go ahead and keep going.
Yeah, that's kind of sus, but I think the main reason why he added me back was because like he probably noticed like my username from like the live streams or like Twitter, because I haven't changed my username like generally ever. Like it's just all one thing.
I see. So
that's probably why. But he did add me back in, like, we had a lot in common, so that's why, like, we talked a lot. We liked, like, anime and stuff, like, One Piece, and he asked me to, like, do, like, a drawing and stuff, and, like, I actually didn't even end up making him a drawing, because he was being pissy, and I just wanted, like, this is horrible, but I wanted, like, the Sandy Hook school shooting, shirt that he wore in like that one video. I don't even know, but I asked him for it, and he said that he would mail it to me along with his like book that he wrote. I forgot it was called.
If you guys aren't aware, Mumkey Jones would wear a shirt very frequently in his videos that said, I think it said, "I jade off after Sandy Hook." It was on his shirt. I always found that quite disturbing. Even as somebody who really enjoys edgy humor, like you can look at how edgy I am. I kind of found that weird, but you know,
yeah,
he's his own person.
Well, the initial shirt was not for me. It was for someone else, and they're like, "No way, you're talking to Mumkey Jones," and they were a bigger fan than I was. So I was like, "Okay, what if I just like get this shirt from my homie?" You know, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But then again, we would just still like talk off and on, and then like there was a point, like period, where we stopped talking for like 2 weeks. Or like a couple of weeks, and like this is like when I was still in high school. It's because I was working in high school. I was doing schoolwork and stuff like that, so I never really responded to him. But I actually posted videos on my story. I wouldn't really say like thirst traps, but this is like when I was single, so like I'd post like a lot of selfies and stuff. Obviously,
you were underage.
Like with friends, so I just but like I post selfies and stuff and like videos of my friends, and it's Snapchat. You know, I mean, like that's just kind of what Snapchat is. You just post on your story. But he would slide up like almost every time I would post a picture of myself, and he'd be like, "You look so cool," or like they wouldn't be like sexual comments, but they like they would just be like compliments.
That's still weird.
I'm pretty.
Do you look
Yeah,
young?
like
Don't you? Do you look young?
I honestly have like a baby face, and like regardless, he never asked my age. Like I think he did, and I told him, and he kind of backed off a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
But then
That's
like
the smoking
I
gun
still
right there.
kept texting him because like, yeah, I just like wanted to be homies, you know, but I didn't really understand. So he stepped off for like a while.
You are not going to be homies with Mumkey Jones.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, bro.
He's gonna get in your pants.
No, yeah.
Any YouTuber, male YouTuber who's older, who adds a young female, it's not for friendship, usually.
Yeah. Well, like, I even tried finding Rusty's, because, like, I'm pretty sure I know Rusty's real name, so, like, I tried typing it in, and, like, it wouldn't let me add him. So, like, I know that, like, there's, like, an option where, like, you have a private account and stuff, I think, you know? And you can, like, approve and, like, disapprove people who, like, add you and stuff.
Okay. So, get to the part where it gets sexual.
Okay, so, like, I wasn't at school one time, and, like, we started talking a lot more about, like, his newest videos. Like, I started talking about trash rats and stuff, giving him some ideas, and I'm like, hey, like, this would be cool if you really did this. I think the audience, you know, just, like, positive feedback and stuff. And he told me he was coming to Colorado, and he knew that I lived in Colorado because I told him I lived in Colorado. And he actually had my shipping address, because, like, that's how close we were, is that we were going to send each other mail.
Do you happen to have any of the shipping stuff? Any, like, boxes, anything like that?
No. We never sent each other anything, but we did send our, like, he sent his PO, and I sent, like, my shipping address because I don't have a PO. But, like, I was gonna make him art and stuff, and I never ended up doing it. I don't know, I just felt like he was just kind of being, like, sus, because, like, he, like, wasn't responding, and then he would respond, but I think he was just, like, busy, you know? But he told me him and one of his homies were, like, coming to Colorado, and he was asking, like, anything about Colorado, and initially he was talking a lot about weed, which I did smoke weed underage, and I still continue to do that, but that's really nobody's business, right? Correct. But he initially would talk about weed with me, and he's like, I think he like literally asked me to like send him like a cart through the mail, and I'm like, bruh, that's illegal. You know, like, how does he not know that? That's fucking illegal, bro.
Yeah, that's a federal felony. That could carry up to 5 years in federal prison, I believe.
Fuck.
Where are you gonna send it to him across state lines?
Yeah.
Okay.
He lives
that's interstate substance commerce. I don't know exactly what it's called. That is incredibly illegal. So where does it get sexual?
He was like, yeah, I'm gonna come into Colorado, we should hang out and stuff, and, like, this is when I was talking to, like, a boy at the time, too, and I was like, the guy that I was talking to, we were really close, and, like, he didn't want my boyfriend to come, and I'm like, why? Or, like, my ex at the time, like, he didn't want him to come, and then I was just like, okay, I mean, like, that's fine, and I was just gonna be like, you can, like, come to my house, and, like, we can just, like, smoke, and, like, yeah, and he said that he would, and I literally sent him, like, my address. I know where his location was, but he asked me for, like, a dispo, and I sent him my brother's dispensary, and he bought stuff from there, and then he said he was on his way towards, like, my area, and then he actually ended up, like, not showing up. It obviously, like, that's kind of interesting, but back then, like, I didn't see anything wrong with it. I started telling him, like, hey, don't you think it's a little weird that I'm, like, a minor and, like, we have a really close relationship and stuff like that? And, like, I was just joking around, and I was like, LOL, like, are you manipulating me and stuff like that? And, like, we would just, like, send memes and stuff and, like, have really dark humor. But, like, yeah, he would just talk a lot of shit about his homies, too, and I was just kind of like, oh my god. At one point, we talked about, like, kissing or something.
Oh, go back on that. Go Go back in on that.
Dude, I barely remember. I'm like so much older from when.
You're gonna have to.
We were just like talking about like hanging out, and then I was like, what if I go to like your state and stuff, and like we just talked about like making videos and stuff, and he told me how he had like an English degree and stuff because I thought it was cool because I thought like writing was cool and everything. And we talked about like something about a couch, and then I was just like, yeah, we could just like chill on my couch and kiss, lol. And like I was just like joking around. I was just like fucking with him, just like try and get a rise out of him. And he was like, yeah, that sounds fine. And then like he would always like slide up on my story and like say like, you're so pretty, like are you underage and stuff like that. And I clearly told him that like I was, and he was like, you don't look underage and that kind of stuff. Obviously, like, his intentions were not good, bro. Like, let's be honest. I feel like you and I both know that.
Yeah. No, that's not acceptable. So,
trying to hang out with someone who's younger than you is definitely something that probably would go sexual if you're gonna go hang out with a 16-year-old alone at her house kind of thing.
Yeah.
I just feel like I was kind of manipulated, you know?
Yeah.
I definitely was.
Okay. No, that's not acceptable. So, go ahead and explain your ex-boyfriend who, just to give people an idea of the troubled state of mind you were in around that time, go ahead and tell people about the shooting you may have been conspired in, or conspiring in.
Yes, so I got into a relationship, like, my 8th grade year of middle school, and my best friend ended up killing himself. And so I kind of got, like, unhinged, like, going into freshman year. And I went to a public high school that, like, none of my friends went to. So I was, like, really depressed, you know. And I took drugs at a very young age, like, hard drugs. I'm talking, like, LSD, Xanax, Adderall, and those kinds of things when I was barely, like, even reaching high school. Because that's how much trauma I've been through. It's not only that because like I had a poor family life and things like that, so I actually ran away from home, and I was still going to school, but I was living with my current boyfriend who was in high school, who is actually much older than me, which is kind of ironic, right?
Yeah.
But I ended up going into high school alone. And I got bullied really bad because I'm goth. But I wouldn't really, like, call that, like, a label or, like, anything. But, like, I guess just, like, that's how it was, you know? I mean, like, I would listen to, like, shitty 90s music. But my boyfriend had an obsession with, Columbine. And initially, like, me wanting to know more about that stuff, and he was, like, interested in true crime, like, I was like, oh yeah, like, that's not really, like, unhealthy, it's not an issue, but, he ended up showing me, like, a fan account on, like, his Instagram of him, glorifying Columbine since, like, middle school, would post a lot of, like, edits, and, like, he would go to this site, and he would, like, find evidence from, like, Columbine, and he'd post a lot of stuff about it. And so I started getting really interested in it, and I developed an unhealthy obsession. And I went onto the dark web, and at a very young age, too, I, like, looked at a lot of the pictures of, like, the victims and stuff like that, and I would go through, like, best score and things like that. I was very disturbed. And it was mainly because my ex would, like, show me stuff like that, and I would be like, okay, well, I've never seen things like that. And obviously I was on drugs, too, so I paid no mind. I felt like I didn't really have a conscience during that time. But I found a site, and I'm actually going to say this publicly because it needs to be fucking taken down, because you can literally find all of the Columbine evidence. It's called acolumbinesite.org. You can find, like, all of Eric Harris's...
columbinesite.org.
It's horrible. Like, Dave Cullen is disgusting, bro. Like, he spent half of his life bringing all of this shit together about some little shitty teenagers who wanted to kill a bunch of people. But, like, you know, it's just weird.
Dave Cullen weird. Dave Cullen is not liked, and he wasn't nice to me.
He's not a good fucking person, dude. Like, I was bullied a lot, but I became a Satanist, and I started worshipping, Dylan and Eric's spirit. And I literally did like blood rituals and things like that. And I started because I initially wanted to kill myself was the plan. Like, and I wasn't even gonna tell anybody, but I've tried to hang myself like the few days before I even. It was like my second semester of my freshman year, and I was failing every single fucking class. I never went to school because there was a bunch of white people, and I'm obviously a minority, and they were super rich, and I have low income, so I'm the first people that they look at, and they're like, oh, well, like, this person's a fucking degenerate. So when you kind of have that labeled on you, it's kind of hard not to just feel like shit constantly. But
Right.
I got set up by some jocks, because he said something really sexist in class, and I poured hot sauce in his bag.
Okay.
Initially, I had extreme fantasies about, like, hurting people, and I did act upon them. I have hurt people. I'm not even gonna lie. I have hurt people, and I have hurt animals.
Okay.
But during that time, I killed a cat. It was kind of by accident, though. Like, I kind of had to put the cat down because, like, I had boiling water, and I spilled some on the cat, and the cat was, like, gonna die. So I had to go through that. And then it was an interesting feeling. I got really desensitized after that. So definitely, like, serial killer behavior. I was on some shit, you know. I was on drugs. But I would draw a lot of guns in my sketchbook. I would draw pictures of Dylan and Eric and Nicholas Cruz from Florida, like the Florida shooting. I would consistently write like journal entries about like plans about what I would do. I would talk about my personal opinion about like I would write about them consistently and talk about how pieces of them I've really analyzed their crimes and how I was gonna piece it all together so perfectly to where it would be better than all of them. You know what I'm saying? So, like, that's initially what I had planned, but a lot of the music that Dylan and Eric Harris listened to, I started listening to because I initially started listening to, like, KMFDM and, like, Nine Inch Nails and stuff like that when I was younger because of my parents. But the fact that they listened to that kind of music already resonated with me, so it made shit worse. And my sketchbook got found in my backpack because I always brought it to school, you know, because I would draw. But I had a gun ready in my room under my bed, and I was able to be taken to a mental institution instead of jail because I'm a fucking minor, I guess. I don't know. I mean, that's how that works, you know. But in my state, they didn't want to prosecute me or anything because I didn't hurt anybody yet. But I had intentions, you know what I'm saying? And so I get to go in the car with my grandfather back to my house, and a bunch of cops were driving behind us from my school, following my grandpa to my home so they can search my room and my belongings, which was fucked because I had, like, homemade bombs, and I had like a lot of crazy journal entries and things like that, and like
I'm sorry. I have to cut this interview off. I can't do this anymore. So I had to cut this off because the person was saying some really despicable things, and I don't want to have it hosted on my channel. But to sum it up, Mumkey Jones befriended allegedly a 16-year-old girl, drove to her house, or tried to anyways, and tried to get her alone, but it didn't work. And he also either offered or asked for drugs from a minor, and had insinuations of sexual intercourse, or at the very least, making out or, you know, flirtatious acts towards a minor as a 24 or 25-year-old man. I didn't show this one part because I forgot to record it, but allegedly he's also done things such as abuse his friends, such as Rusty Cage, and has allegedly slept with Rusty Cage's girlfriend. Anyway, take this all with a grain of salt. As you can see, the source is not very reliable at all, but the story is interesting to consider, I believe, so that's all. Come to your own conclusions. See ya.